Tuesday morning hot stove rolls on. We are leading the league in information, thanks in part to our own JP Morosi as we bring him in. JP, yesterday brought us some actual news as Lance Lynn. It was announced that he signed with his former club where he made his debut in 2011, won the World Series with them as well that year, signing back with his team for 1 year, $11 million, including the buyout. What can you tell us about how this deal went down?
Yes, Lauren, good morning. First of all, the St. Louis Cardinals have a lot of work to do on their rotation, and this was a very important piece to begin because, yes, they're going to be playing on the top of the marketplace. They're going after every superstar pitcher they can find, but for now, bringing in Lance Lynn, very important for them. We saw him, of course, pitching down the stretch with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Cardinals know what they're getting in Lance Lynn. Of course, he pitched for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. He's probably going to slot somewhere in the middle of this Cardinals rotation, Lauren. So still some work to do at the top, but this is a very good way for the Cardinals to start the offseason and not have to think about adding 3 pitchers all in 1 week at the winter meetings. A stable, solid pick for the middle of their rotation.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough hill to climb, JP, especially after missing the postseason for the first time in over 3 decades. They missed out on Aaron Nola. So did the Atlanta Braves as Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies locked him up. So Reynaldo Lopez enters the chat for the Braves. He signed a 3-year, $30 million deal. What do you know about this one?
Lauren, it's a really interesting contract because he is someone that's pitched out of the bullpen a fair amount. But according to Mark Bowman, our colleague at MLB.com, the plan for the Braves is to stretch him out in spring training, which I think is a really novel concept for the Braves. Now, to your point, they had tried to bring in Nola. I still think we may see them make a play to bring in Sonny Gray, but Lopez on a 3-year deal, that is a tremendous show of support and confidence for him to trust him with a rotation spot. Of course, they still have Max Fried. They ended up moving out some of their younger and talented arms like Wright and Soroka, who had some injuries in recent years. So it's a big bet, I think, on Lopez's durability and his adaptability. That they'll bring him in as a starting pitcher, let him stretch out in spring training, and then go from there. I still believe the Braves, because of how stable their overall roster is, Lauren, and their payroll being in a very good situation, they can make some very selective moves at the high end. So they'll probably still play on Sonny Gray, but this is a very, very strong contract. I think Lopez's representation did a very good job to get a 3-year deal for someone who's been a reliever for a lot of his career. But the Braves, with their analytics and their scouting, saw enough to believe he can get it done as a starting pitcher in the National League East.
Yeah, based on their history, it seems like they know what they're doing. We know that he did start in parts of 2016, and they definitely have the latitude for that experiment. Let's venture into the world of rumors, shall we? Shane Bieber, what are you hearing about him?
Yes, Lauren, I was told yesterday several teams have been showing interest in Shane Bieber via the trade market. Now, because of what we talked about earlier in this conversation about all the different free agent starters out there, Bieber's trade, if it happens, is more likely to occur after the winter meetings than it is before, because a lot of teams are saying, wait a minute, I'm not going to give up my prospects to upgrade my rotation now when I have a lot of free agent possibilities out there. But the key thing for Bieber, Lauren, is that he was able to finish the season healthy. He came back and made 2 starts. Yes, he missed a lot of time due to injury. For that reason, the drop in velocity, there is certainly some concern on the part of teams. But the fact that he was able to end the season on the active roster, I think has really taken away some of the concerns of the industry about his ability to stay healthy, at least as you enter the 2024 season. So I would say on Shane Bieber, not right now, but when you think about the way the Guardians always seem to find, Lauren, great young starting pitching, Bibee, Williams, McKenzie's coming back. They probably have enough depth to move Bieber, and for that reason, teams are already calling the Guardians about him, and I would expect his market to intensify a few weeks from now.
Yeah, that youth, you make such a great point. They can leverage him to bring in some more pieces. Speaking of the rumor mill, it sounds like the Blue Jays are open to moving on from Alec Monoa. His journey was well documented last season. We know that he was an all-star in LA just 2 years ago. Top 3 in Cy Young voting. What kind of market is there for the 25-year-old?
Lauren, that's an excellent question. I believe a good number of teams have already checked in with the Blue Jays on Alec Monoa, and whether it's the Dodgers or the Giants, the Cardinals are another possibility. Teams that are in the market for starting pitching and have a demonstrated ability to take in a pitcher and find ways to help him be his most successful based on analytics and coaching. And most importantly here, a change of scenery, because there was a lot of back and forth, Lauren, in the second half of the season about, was Manoah injured? Was he just inconsistent? He was sent down to the minor leagues on multiple occasions. You see it there. His ERA jumped up by more than 3 runs in the middle or from 2022 to 2023. And so the hope is that even if you draw a line between those 2 ERAs, and find a way to just get him back to being a stable arm, whether it's 60% of what he was in 2022, that's still a solid starter to have somewhere in your rotation. And those 3 teams I mentioned, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Dodgers, all still looking for multiple starting pitchers. So Lauren, as in a nod here to Al Leiter in our conversation during the break, for Manoah to go to a new place and regain some of his form would be, as we're seeing here, totally awesome.
Wow. You were so punny this morning. That was very well done. I was about to ask you about the artwork and how we really do hope for Alec Monoa.
That's exactly what Elena wrote. Totally awesome. It's right up there.
The dad jokes are alive and well here on this Tuesday morning. JP, thank you so much.
Thanks.